الغرفة يعتبر أسوأ فيلم في تاريخ السينما، أنتجه وأخرجه وقام ببطولته شخص غريب الأطوار يدعى توني وايزو عام 2003. هذا العام قام النجم الهوليوودي جيمس فرانكو بإنتاج وإخراج وببطولة فيلم كوميدي يدور حول كواليس الغرفة، وهو الفنان الكارثي المقتبس من كتاب الممثل غريغ سيستيرو الذي يلعب دوره أخوه ديف فرانكو. سيستيرو ووايزو ينتقلان من سان فرانسيسكو إلى هوليوود في أواخر التسعينيات ليحققا النجومية.
It's not going to happen for you. Not in a million years.
But after that?
وعندما فشل وايزو في الحصول على أدوار تمثيل، قرر أن يكتب سيناريو وأن يصنع فيلما بنفسه، رغم أنه لم يكن يعرف شيئا عن صنع الأفلام. واستأجر استوديو تصوير بكل معداته وطاقم تقنيين وممثلين، ودفع كل تكاليف الإنتاج التي بلغت $5 ملايين من جيبه الخاص.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
رغم أن قصة فيلم الغرفة غير منطقية وأحداثه غير متواصلة ومستواه الأدائي والفني هابط، إلا أنه منذ عرضه الأول قبل 14 عاما في لوس أنجلوس تحول إلى فيلم كولت يتدفق الناس لمشاهدته في دور السينما حتى يومنا هذا.
The Room is its own weird thing. Yeah, it doesn't, really, by conventional standards, we wouldn't call it a good movie, but there's something about the sum of its parts that just makes it so watchable, and you can just watch it again and again.
Did playing Tommy resonate with you because, like him, you always direct, write, produce, and star in your movies?
I don't always. That's actually not true. I do.
Your own movies.
My own movies, I usually direct and act in them. I write some of them. I did not write The Disaster Artist. Scott Neustadter and Mike Weber wrote that. I actually enjoy doing only one or the other. When I direct, one of the best things, my favorite things is collaborating and especially collaborating with actors. And when you cast a movie so well, as I think, I have to say I think I did in The Disaster Artist, I'm so happy with the cast. That when you do that and you give the cast a certain amount of freedom, they can bring you so many things that you never thought of, and they can surprise you in ways that it's just so exciting. And when I direct myself, it's a little harder to surprise myself.
قام فرانكو بتجسيد عدة أدوار شخصيات حقيقية، أهمها دور النجم الهوليوودي جيمس دين عام 2001 الذي حقق له جائزة الجولدن جلوب، وفي عام 2011 نال ترشيحا لجائزة الأوسكار عن أداء دور متسلق الجبال آرون رالستون في فيلم 172 ساعة.
Every character, based on a real person, has a different approach just based on the story and who they are. Tommy, in some ways, was very much like James Dean, in the sense that he was an actor, he's in movies, people know how he sounds because of that movie, The Room, just like people know James Dean from East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, and Giant. They know what he looks like, they know how he moves, and so in that sense, the outer behavior became very important to the portrayal of Tommy Wiseau, in a way unlike it was for Aaron Ralston. Nobody really knows what Aaron Ralston looks like or sounds like. They maybe can see a photo, but it's not like that's a huge part of his personality, nor was it primary in that performance. What was primary in 127 Hours was giving an extreme, the most authentic portrayal of a guy going through that horrible situation, right? To make that feel as real as possible, and less so capturing Aaron Ralston's exact cadence or, mannerisms, right? But with Tommy and James Dean, those mannerisms were incredibly important, and how he sounds is incredibly important. The voice is, half a character, right?
لتقمص دور دين، صار فرانكو يدخن علبتي سجائر كل يوم، وصبغ شعره بالأشقر، وتدرب على ركوب الدراجات النارية وقطع وسائل الاتصال مع عائلته وأصدقائه حتى يشعر بالوحدة التي كان يشعر بها دين. ولكن عندما شرع بالتحضير لشخصية وايزو اكتشف أن لا أحد يعرف هويته أو ماضيه ولا أحد يصدق ما يدعيه عن نفسه.
Don't talk about me, not to Klaus, not to anybody.
ويصر أنه من النيو أورلينز لكن لهجته شرق
Try
أوروبية.
not to fall asleep, everybody.
Am I hearing an accent?
Oh, no. What do you mean?
ولا يكشف عن عمره الحقيقي.
Greg age.
You're 19? Yeah. I just turned 14.
Wow, happy birthday.
Where were you born, Tommy?
Greg, that's not part of the scene.
Now, you want an easier question? Where does the money come from, huh?
Stop, this is on camera.
I know it's on camera, just like you wanted.
You cannot get a straight answer from him. He, will not tell you where he's from. He will not tell you where he got his money, and he will not tell you, or he'll tell you he got...
It gives you a version.
Yes. So to actually get to some sort of truths that I could play, I had to go to Greg Sestero, and I went to the book that Greg wrote. And then I had a third sort of ace in the hole, which were these tapes that Tommy had made 20 years ago, 5 years before he made The Room. He would record himself and he would talk to himself. And Greg had stolen these tapes and he gave them recordings to me. Now Tommy knows that I have them now, so I'm not completely unethical, but he calls them the secret tapes, But they were Tommy, in very private moments, talking about his feelings and how he felt about Hollywood and acting teachers and even feeling lonely at times. And so not only was it valuable to hear his voice, and I would listen to it, every day in my car, but it gave me a real insight into his struggles before The Room.
That's a lot of work you went through. I mean, given that I looked at the list of your movies this year, you have what, 6 or 7? And every
Yeah,
year,
I shot all
do you
of
have where do you find the time to sit down and invest?
I mean, there was a period of time before this year where I was doing a lot of stuff.
منذ بداية سيرته المهنية عام 1998 مثل فرانكو في أكثر من 100 فيلم ومسلسل تلفزيوني، أنتج 70 منها فيما أخرج 36، وكتب 28 سيناريو وألف 6 كتب، ومارس الرسم وعرضت رسوماته في معارض في نيويورك وبرلين، كما التحق بعدة جامعات وحصل على شهادة بكالوريا في الأدب الإنجليزي ودرجات الماجستير في الكتابة وفي صناعة الأفلام وكتابة الروايات وفي الشعر وفي الرسم، وشهادة الدكتوراه في الأدب الإنجليزي. وبعد تخرجه أصبح يدرس صناعة الأفلام في جامعة كاليفورنيا وفي مدرسة بلدته الثانوية.
I don't do that anymore. This whole year I've only acted for 2 weeks in a Coen Brothers project.
Why now you limited yourself?
I'm slowing down. I don't want to. I think I had a period of time where I was getting experience as a director and as a writer, and I had learned early on when I had started acting that the more I do something, at least in the early stages, the better I'll get. That there are certain basics that you just have to get under your belt. Like anything, if you're an athlete and you want to become a pro, you have to practice. You have to learn how to hit that ball, so it becomes second nature. It's the same thing with acting. It's the same thing with directing, same thing with writing. You have to do a lot of it to get experience. The other side of it was, maybe I was running. Maybe I was running from myself a little bit, that I couldn't be alone with myself and that I felt most comfortable when I was working. And so I just did more of that, And I've just gotten to a place where I'm okay with myself now, and...
Was there a trigger point where made you change your lifestyle?
I just got to a point where I was just like, James. I mean, people have been telling me for years, and it just sort of catches up, and it's just like, James, why are you doing so much? Why? Where are you racing? You got a great life. Why don't you just sit back and enjoy it? And you know what? Making this movie was actually one of the things that opened my eyes, because I was making it with my brother, with some of my closest friends, Seth Rogen and the gang, and it was like great material, and it was like, this is as good as it gets. Why don't you just slow down and enjoy this?
Well, congratulations.
أداء فرانكو في الفنان الكارثي قُوبل بالمديح من قبل النقاد، ويتوقع أن يرشح لجائزة الأوسكار هذا الموسم وقد يفوز بها، ويمكن مشاهدة الفيلم في دور السينما. حسام عاصي، BBC.